Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Very excited to meet up with Anthony today. Anthony has a really cool DIY ProMaster camper van conversion that he built to look like an old European cottage. I've never seen anything like it before, and there's a lot of details in here too that are gonna be totally new to you guys. So join us for the tour.
My name is Anthony. This is my 2016 ProMaster. I bought it with 4,000 miles on it. Got lucky. Normally I buy it new because I like to build them, live in them, and then send them away, ship them, sell them, whatever I'm trying to say. To me, when you go into anybody's home, I like aesthetics. I think aesthetics are important because if you live a certain way you love, then you love the way you live. It sounds like a cool little something. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we got certain woods, which I'll go over in a minute with you because the woods are actually a big thing for me with this build. But anyway, shelving, storage. You have this guy, which from the inside makes it feel like you have a kitchen that you can actually hang out in, living room, you can cook, everybody hangs out, and then it feels like more of a home. Which also to the home, for me, was important to have. I wanted it to feel like when you go into this van, you feel like you're in your nest. I didn't want it to feel like a camper van that, you know, you go on the weekend and it does the job, and it's functional, but it's fashionable and functional once again. Out here, propane, so you're safe. Runs to the floor. That way, if there's any leaks, it's going to go straight out the bottom because propane's heavier than air. Over here in the vanity kitchen area, I have a European style sink that I found on Etsy, and I thought it was cool. I really like those sort of washboard sort of old look. To me, it felt charming, and the way it functions is under here. You just have a gray water storage. You release it, straight pipe, pour it out wherever that's legitimate. I have a cat who's not with me right now, and I wanted her to be able to get in and out, and I don't know, something about just a little funky window made sense to me when I did it here, so I thought that was interesting. You have your, what did you call it?
Call it a pizza oven.
The pizza oven. We have the pizza oven storage up here. And I made things a little bit, I guess old school you could call it. So instead of just latches that kind of hook in, easy do it, like I wanted to add little touches like that, something you'd find in, you know, your grandparents' home or something like that. So a lot of the touches here, I tried to do things like that. You have wallpaper, which is actually vinyl wallpaper. I cemented it down because I didn't want it to ever come up because of like hot and cold when you travel. The ceiling, so this is like, to me, I don't even know what to call it, but when you see an old house you live underneath and it's been around forever, I wanted that look. I wanted it to be like you're underneath and it's sort of rickety. This specifically is Ipe. For those who do a lot of construction, Ipe is extremely heavy. So I was kind of torn on using it, but I was like, well, what can I do with it? And so I ripped it down to like 16ths because you can't break this stuff. It's really durable. And I hit them up on fairing strips to the ceiling so they're secure. I locked them in with your cross beams, and that way in the hot and cold it won't ever move. Fans aren't really that pretty, so on the inside I tried to really just tie it in, pay attention to detail, and then highlight pieces with your Ipe, and then on the outside with these bars and so forth. It's actually old barn wood. My buddy ripped down an old barn and he had a bunch of like 8-footers, and so I just thought it was kind of cool to just build it out and give it that look. This is the area where you can lounge, do work, and it also converts to a bed, which I'll show you. If you want a workstation, lagoon style table is nice because you can rotate it wherever you need to. So you have workstation here if you would do some computer editing or whatever. You can rotate it this way so you can enjoy dinner with your significant other. This table also converts to a bed. It's not a full-size bed, it's only about 5 foot, so you just drop it down, pillows fill in, and then you can do your bed there. Underneath, if you pull the cushions up, you have a compost toilet. So I ran a fan over there, and that really helps with the smell. Toilets in vans to me are tricky because everyone I've come across, they're just pretty awful, and they're also really expensive for those who do this. So I found just this basic little lid system, and it comes with a diverter, and then I grabbed recently from a buddy, it's like this, I don't even know what it is, but basically it's like a coagulant, and you can put it on areas that are dirty. They developed it for like kitty litter smells and stuff like that, but it also helps biodegrade it, so you can put it on. It acts as like those tabs that can decompose, and then you use your decomposable bags. You let it sit and you can throw it away, and you're not totally polluting the environment. So that's that system, as well as you have a tube that goes down to your urine holder, and it's really large because if you're driving you don't want it splashing out, and you just pull that out, you rinse it out, and call it a day. I don't particularly love showers in vans. I think that they create mold. You don't get that long of a shower from it. They waste a lot of water. However, I wanted that convenience, and I wanted to challenge myself and just actually like build a shower. So I went about it, and I did my best to kind of think mindful of, I got your low, I think it runs like 1.25 gallons per minute, and I did it military style. So when you run it, you know, it's good to go on and off. That way you can, like a military style shower is, you rinse, do your thing, you turn it off, on and off. And to me that made sense because you're not really ripping through your water. Standard shower pan runs out the bottom. I don't collect it because I just try to use biodegradable soaps. I think it's hard to find a place to actually dump your wastewater, and so that's why I ran it just straight to the ground. And also, I don't really think showering is really, you shouldn't be doing it that often if you live van style, in my opinion. But here's the shower. So in the back I did corrugated metal, and I actually took Flex Seal and I just coated the whole thing, that way it's waterproofed. And yeah, I came across this really rusty old barn piece, and I had some hand-me-down tile. So it's not my favorite part of the van, but for all you ladies that need to stay clean and don't want to do it outside, there you go. Over here you have a water heater, 2.5 gallon water heater, which means basically 2.5 gallons of hot water will go in there. So as I said before, you're not really running long-term showers, you're getting away with only so much, but it's pretty good on energy. And it seems, my research, that led me back to doing this guy. You have your switch, which once your inverter's on, you power that on, you wait about 30 minutes, and then you have steamy hot water. The window, I don't know much to say about the window. You have a window, so it's not stale in here, so it's almost like a, I don't know, nice little place to hang out and eat dinner. Look out the window, get some air. Oh, I gotta give a shout out. My mom, she sort of made me put these plates in here. She loves her Polish and German heritage, and so I just wanted to say thank you, Mom. I appreciate it, and I think it gives that really cool look. So these are authentic. I think this one's like actually in the 1800s. And yeah, rooster kitchen. I don't know. Here's your roundabout kitchen, so you can really do your thing cooking. Again, I love to cook, so I found it through Panther, this Dometic stove oven, and it's propane. It works really well. I've actually done a couple loaves of bread. Heat was with an oven, when you put it in a small area, you have to worry about how hot it gets, because you know you're doing a 450 degree oven. So one thing I kept in mind was, it just turned out that it made sense to me with the gaps in between all the woodwork that I did. You get a good amount of airflow that comes up and out through here and there, and then straight out the back you have a fan. And honestly, when I cook, it's great. I haven't had anything that feels too hot. This thing is insulated, which is nice. And yeah, you can just do your thing, and you got a nice light. The brickwork. So putting brick in a van seems pretty stupid because of weight. However, this is called thin brick, which is nice. It's 3/4 inch thick, half inch thick, 3/4 inch thick, and I needed a way to actually figure out how to put brick in a van, because over time, if you do grout and thin set or mortar, it's going to crack, it's going to fall off, it's not going to hold. And so a buddy who does tile work actually said that there's this really cool stuff they came up with more recently that's like a flexible concrete. I mean, you can take it and actually bend it. I like open concept, so you can see your dishware. And I actually had these handmade by somebody, and to me, I didn't just want to close stuff off. Like, I like when you can see things. Normally I hang jars and stuff like that, so I kind of kept that theme throughout, which, you know, I like to appreciate the things that I have to the fullest extent, and so you might as well show it off if you really care about it. And I think these are beautifully handmade plates. Over here you have your power. You have everything you need to know about your solar, and then when you want to run AC, you turn that on, and then you have your outlets throughout. And it's a 2000 watt inverter, so you can pretty much do the majority of things with it, your blenders and whatnot. I found some hickory wood from a buddy, and I thinned it out, planed it, and then did really cool style, I don't even know what to call them. I just like them. I thought they looked neat. Throw some metal, throw some trim. These latches are nice because you don't have to have anything too cumbersome looking to close it, and they work nice for when you're driving, and keeps that down, as well as all your cooking, extra storage for pans, bags, etc., etc. Like I said, more jars. I like jars. So as you can see too, this is heavy, and I found they're called bandana slides, and the bandana slides as well keep a lot of strength on when you push and pull, so they don't just come out. And it was actually a guy, from what I know, he did RVs and he came up with them, so that was really convenient. The door, there's an empty area up here, and I just thought flowers would be nice, flowers and foliage. And I love the fall. I think fall is like a really beautiful time, and so I incorporated up there. I was going to run lights in there, kind of through and out, but couldn't figure out a way, and then so no lights, but it looks pretty. Curtains, linen curtains, tie them up, put them away. And the carpet too. The carpet, the whole van on the inside is the maroon color, and I didn't love the maroon color. I think it's a bit off-putting. So at first I was just going to paint it, but I had seen a couple guys online do carpet, and it's basically felt. You glue it, you get in the areas, and then I painted the trim, and I felt like that made it more homey. There is carpet throughout actually down below, so it's coziness, and to me, I like it because it's scuff proof. If you just have wood everywhere, you have a tendency to kind of nick it and make it ugly, and that way it's nice on your legs, nice on your hands, and that's sort of why I went with carpet wrapping. Over here you have a step to get up onto the bed, storage, 6 foot by 4 foot bed, 6 inch, and it's memory foam. And I just had to come up with a way to get a custom sized bed. Oh, the trim. This archway and throughout is actually PVC. So I found it looked good if you painted it and then added these they're just tacks, they're brass tacks. And to me it looked like old metal, and I thought that trimming it out would give it a bit of a rustic feel. And that way I didn't actually have to bend metal. And this was challenging. I didn't know any other way. I'm not a seasoned woodworker, so I basically just cut to build the bend. That was actually quite challenging. So I just cut slivers, painted them, sort of felt it looked a nice rustic feel. With the cabinetry, what I did when I built it actually was, so the vans are curved and there's a lot of wasted space if you just square things off. So I went through mitering everything in, angled, bent, and if you really like look up inside, I can't really see it because of the clothing, but I followed the whole entire contour of the van, which for storage, there is more storage up here than it shows, and that was pretty important to me, to have like minimal storage areas that weren't just taking over. And so that was my solution for really like following the contour inside. I did a sound system. I thought for outside and inside it made sense to put it here, so if you're hanging out back you can have your music, you can charge phones and whatnot, and then up here is where you can, you know, if you wanted to charge your phone, you leave it there. And this thing aesthetically looks nice, but also I noticed when you cover it up, it really sort of echoes out, and then you get a nice, almost like a little reverberated sound. The skylight, I had to order this guy, and they're quite expensive. I really like them. I'm glad I did it. I was gonna originally do just a normal skylight that didn't open, but I thought getting that airflow between the fan and the skylight made a lot of sense to go for it. So they're not the cheapest, but they're really cool because you have this guy which you can close yourself off from light, and then also a mosquito net, which is pretty cool. So that's really a nice feature. You can't fit out it unless you're a little kid, so sorry. Over here you can put your books, you can put iPad, whatever it is, another charger, so you can charge at night. You have the windows, which are inlaid, more brick, and I put some fake ivy, some flowers over here, but you can turn them on and off at night for mood lighting. And I thought that was a nice way to kind of add just a touch. You have this guy, which is just support for an iPad or a phone, so you can lay in bed and watch some TV at night if you so desire to. You have candles for mood, and also this really cool butterfly piece I found. I thought it was really neat. Switches. You have your individual lights as well as all on a dimmer, so you can really get the lighting that you desired from there. And I put it back there because I felt like it's pretty easy to go in, turn it off there, but as well in bed if you don't want to get up at night and you just turn it on and off the lights. I thought that made sense to me. Another thing I want to talk about is heat in the refrigerator. So you have a Dometic. I like the stand-up fridges. I don't like the top loaders specifically. I think they just don't look that nice, as well as I like feeling like I'm in a home where you can go in this style. And yeah, it's been really nice to have that style of fridge. And then heat, I'm going to put here, I have a catalytic heater coming that runs off of propane, and I'm going to put it on a TV swing, so that way you're not blasting right into the fridge. And this comes around towards here. I just haven't gotten it through the mail yet, and then that way you can light up the cabin, and that will keep it winterized. If you come around back, you have a garage area that I put rhino liner on the entire thing. In case you get water down here, this protects everything, makes it rough, easy to clean. The powerhouse in here is 200 amp hour or two 100 amp hour lithium batteries. You have 2000 watt inverter. I've got a DC to DC which powers off the alternator, and then you also have a outsourced 110 charger, which as opposed to a 220, the 110 is nice because you can just charge it everywhere. And I noticed basically even when it rains out, your 400 watt, I have 400 watts of solar up top, but when it rains out, actually you really do kind of burn through energy. So the DC to DC makes a lot of sense to me. And I did have a guy, Sequoia, thank you very much, help me out with this. And he really helped me hone in the details on how to build a nice, sophisticated, good middle of the ground system. So that's what keeps everything together. And if you need to work on it as well, that guy can pop out so you can do your thing. This there's a 500 pound weighted slides, so you can sit on this, you can do your thing on this. I decided to make a outdoor patio. I have two panels over there with legs in them. They go on alternate sides, which creates support, and then you have an outdoor area to eat. I got a table that screws on, and these are your seats, and then you can actually dine under the nature. So over in this area is your water supply. I have a 22 gallon tank, 2 filters, accumulator, your 12 volt pump, outdoor shower. Pretty well. It's not hot water. I didn't feel that was necessary to run hot water on the outside. And also a switch for outside, as well as your water fill. And down below here is if you need to let the tank out. Another thing I want to show you is the ladder. The guys who helped me with the wood, they also helped me weld. So we did a little custom ladder that I figure on the side is better than the back. I couldn't find a lot of ladders online that weren't back style that go over, and to me, I don't know, I just really like the whole thought of the side getting up. And that way, if you need to get on up there, you can clean your solar and hang out on top of the deck. And I painted it with what is this stuff called? The same rhino liner, so that way it won't rust and it's a bit rigid, won't get dirty. These are your outdoor vents for the bathroom. There's also one on the other side for the cooking area. I've done a handful of these. A lot of them are passion projects, and I do sell them. This one will be for sale. You can find the information on Patrick's site, on his YouTube, on probably his Twitter and Instagram as well. It'll have all the details on the specs and the wood and how to use it, etc. And you know, any questions you have, I'm an open book, and I really care about what I did here because this was a really strong passion project for me. Basically, I was out west and family broke up, and so I decided I needed something to keep sane, and there's a lot of story that went into this one, just kind of the way I came about it. Decided to come back where I was raised in Jersey, and yeah, so this was a nice, I guess, piece of art, and I hope you enjoyed it. And so that's about the story, that's about the build.
Well, I love the story, I love the build, I love the details inside this one. You know, a lot of vans, they have a similar look and feeling and floor plan inside, and that's great. This one, the extra details and the character and some of the stories that come along with some of the pieces, the fact that a lot of this stuff is reclaimed materials, it's really attractive to me. And the execution is great. I like the front kitchen area with the fridge and the sink up in the front area. Very European van design. A lot of European vans have the shower in the front corner.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Definitely influenced by Europe van life living. I don't know if anybody follows what they do over there, but that's really where it started. They do amazing work over there, and honestly, I think half of my inspiration was to keep up with what they're doing over there, because just check out European van builds. The stuff they do there is insane. I saw what they were doing with reclaimed wood and things that looked old, and so I said, you know what, like, if they're doing it over there, there has to be a possibility, because I didn't have that much knowledge in what I was doing. I think seeing somebody who does put together a build that has a lot of things that can potentially break easily or deteriorate or just are like a no-no for swelling or whatever the purpose, yeah, I think it's incredible having that ability to check stuff out, like your channel, and see what other people are doing. So thank you, European van life people, man. Really big inspiration.
Well, awesome to have you on. I'm going to leave a link in the description so our viewers could click along and find out more about this van. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.
See ya.